Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning. Yes. Again, that beautiful reminder that you get to choose, I get to choose, that we all get to choose what things mean. It's so interesting. A few technical difficulties this morning, and you know what? It doesn't matter. See, I got to make it mean whatever I wanted it to mean. And I just looked at it and said, okay, well, big deal. The point is that there's all kinds of things that happen in our life, factual things, and about every single one of those things, all of them are fundamentally meaningless. Remember, everything just is. Write that in your notes. Everything just is. Everything's fundamentally meaningless. Somebody says, what somebody does, what you've done, what you're not doing, the outcomes, how much you're earning, what you do for work, all of it, fundamentally meaningless. And it's you that gets to choose your thoughts to give meaning to those things. Now, again, intentionally used again, right? Why is that important? Well, because those meanings lead us onto a vibratory state, a frequency. And it's that frequency that opens us to see what's already there. It opens us to see solutions. Now, think about that. You have that power in you. It's always been there. It always will be there. It's not a matter of whether or not it's there. It's a matter of whether or not you're going to tap into that power. That hidden power is what Thomas Troward refers to. Oh, such a good author, good leader, Thomas Troward. Those of you who haven't studied Troward, oh my God. By the way, warning, if you go into Troward, um, get ready to be get ready to be, I guess you'd say, thrown into the deep waters. It's some really deep thinking in there. Well, with that being said, let's go back to you. Okay. See, what I'm reminding you of is that hidden power that you have in you, that if used, will help you to accomplish whatever it is that you seek. Now, here I'm waving a goal card, and for those of you who do not have one, I highly recommend that you do get one. If you want to get one from us, just click on the link that we provide you, and there it will show how you can purchase these. They come in sleeves. But if you don't want to get one of these, get an index card. The point is, get something that represents the ideal that you would love to be made manifest in the outer world, which brings into another important thing for you to remember about what manifestation is. Manifestation is nothing more than thought externalization. Well, what's beautiful is when you tap into this, when this becomes something that's really important to you, guess what? It must happen. Bob Proctor would say that frequently. It must happen. You write it on a card, it must happen. Now, keep in mind, his statement about that, meaning it must happen, was based on the assumption that you are one with the idea that you are making it important. See, it's based on the assumption that you've impressed it here in your subconscious mind. And it's true. All right. So, with that, we've been studying this book, The Master Key System by Charles Haanel. And hasn't it been a wonderful journey so far? You've been feeling a lot better about yourself as you've been using it. If things have not been changing, here's the reminder for you, then it's just a matter of use. It's because you've been collecting the information. See, you got to rid yourself of your membership to the Information Gathering Society. You got to say goodbye to that and instead be an implementer. So make sure you have a copy of this. And if you'd like a copy of this, you can go straight to Amazon or just click on the link that we provide you. It'll share with you how to get there. And then another beautiful companion is the Subconscious Code, which is an incredible, simple book that will help you to dive into understanding your mind and how it works. All right, so let's go into this, shall we? Let's dive into this. Make sure you have your gold card with you, and let's immerse ourselves into the wisdom of Charles Haanel. All right, here we go. Now, we talked about this yesterday, and we're going to talk about it again. This is section 29 on page 154. And the statement here is, it is the few who know that the things which they see are only the effects and understand the causes by which these effects were brought into existence. In other words, only few people get this. You are amongst the few. And if you'd like to test this, which I highly recommend that you do, go ahead and ask a number of people to point out something that's in the material world that they're in. Just have them point out something that was made and ask them how it was made. You should do this. It's a lot of fun to do. Ask them, how did they make this? They'll start diving into the mechanics. They'll start diving into the secondary things that led to the manifestation of whatever that is. Oh, they drew the plan. They pulled together the resources, put together a team. They made a prototype, and so forth. Completely missing that the reason why that's there is because somebody was loyal to the idea. And again, this is something that I recommend that every single one of you do, in addition to exercising this way of thinking at least 3 times a day. It only takes about 3 or 4 minutes to do it. It's very short. Just look at things around you, the material things, from the perspective that it was in someone's mind first before it became the material thing. To get used to living your life from the spiritual realm, not the physical. If you'll do that, what will start happening is you'll begin to be more creative. Your imagination will start to expand. So again, it is the few, and you are amongst the few, who know that the things which they see are only effects and understand the causes by which these effects were brought into existence. Now, here there was a long description from this specific section about a battleship, to look at the battleship, look at all the people inside, look at how this thing weighs a massive amount, and how it's floating on the ocean, how most of the battleship is beneath the water. But again, how did it get there? Yes, there were things that needed to happen materially. Yes, they needed to get all of the metal. They had to weld it. They had to do all of that. They had to adhere to the law of buoyancy. With that being said, it's there ready to go to serve one purpose, and that is to project big chunks of metal at the enemy to destroy the enemy. But the point is that it was there because of being loyal to the unseen reality of the idea. And he points out here at the end of this, the asking of a question, but how did the battleship come to be where it is? How did it come into existence in the first place? All of this you want to know if you are a careful observer. Now think about this, all of this specific section here. Let's go through this. Take the same position as heretofore and visualize a battleship. See the grim monster floating on the surface of the water. Okay, all of you imagine this, okay? There appears to be no life anywhere about. All is silence. You know that by far the largest part of the vessel is underwater, out of sight. You know that the ship is as large and as heavy as a 20-story skyscraper or the National Gallery. You know that there are hundreds of men ready to spring their appointed task instantly. You know that every department is in charge of able, trained, skilled officers who have proven themselves competent to take charge of this marvelous piece of mechanism. You know, notice how he's saying, you know, that although it lies apparently oblivious to everything else, it has its eyes which see everything for miles. Nothing is permitted to escape its watchful vision. You know that while it appears quiet, submissive, and innocent, it is prepared to hurl a steel projectile weighing thousands of pounds at an enemy many miles away. This and much more you can bring to mind with comparatively no effort whatsoever. Now, think about that for you. This, whatever you've written down here, is something that already exists. It's already here, it's already finished. It's in your mind, it's in your hidden world. And boy, there's a lot of stuff in many people's hidden worlds, I should say, that are taking shape right now, right before your eyes. The point being is that the power is inside and that you can build something amazing and incredible as this battleship if you'll just tap into the power that you have. If you'll just use your mind. And again, what's in your mind? Those higher mental faculties, your imagination, perception, reason, will, memory, intuition, all of those are beautifully described. Oh, I had it upside down. Flip it this way. In this book, you want to dive deep into those higher mental faculties? It's in here. Now, again, really think about that. You can bring this and much more to mind with no effort whatsoever, comparatively no effort whatsoever. What he means is you can start imagining right now. Remember, imagination is the starting point of all creation. It doesn't take any more effort to imagine great things than it does to imagine terrible things. Now let's go further. Follow the great steel plates through the foundries. See the thousands of men employed in their production. Go still further back and see the ore as it comes from the mine. See it loaded on barges or trucks. See it melted and properly treated. Go back still further and see the architect and engineers who planned the vessel. Let the thought carry you back still further in order to determine why they planned the vessel. You will see that you are now so far back that the vessel is something what? Intangible. It's something that's in the thinking substance that's being shaped and molded. Think about that. That big, monstrous bit of machinery, the battleship that he's referring to, when you go back to its start in this physical realm, in this world, you'll see that it's rooted in something that's been sown. See, sowing, reaping, cause and effect. So again, you will see that you are now so far back that the vessel is something intangible. It no longer exists. It is now only a thought.